Good afternoon, pre-service teachers. My name is Jana Adams, and today I'll be looking at the concept of land-based education. Before this presentation takes place, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which the Mount Gravatt University campus, myself, and the artwork that I will examine stands on, the Jagera, Turrbal, Quandamooka, Mulwinjab, and Kawini peoples. The concept of land-based education, according to the Decolonisation Indigeneity Education Society, involves forms of education that reconnect Indigenous peoples to the land. When reflecting on the concept, it can be noted that there are two philosophers who represent the same values as land-based education. The first philosopher is Socrates, who is directly reflected in the Undigenous through his belief that the ultimate ideal knowledge was held by gods. The second philosopher is Plato, who is relevant in the Undigenous with his distinctions between the physical, rational, and spiritual man, as the Indigenous peoples believe that the Undigenous are a powerful rainmaker spirit. One framework that is related to the indigeneity of the concept is the 4Rs framework. In a classroom setting, the Undigenous can be viewed as an alternative to a scientific perspective regarding weather, where they discuss the representation of the gods in the artwork, which were fundamental of the bringing on of the wet season. To go further, this method would also be inclusive of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Perspectives Program EATSIP's principles. The EATSIP's program, according to the Queensland Government, were written into the national curriculum to ensure that all young Australians have the opportunity to learn about, acknowledge, and respect the history and culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. By embedding Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives within the Australian school curriculum, it enables to enrich learning outcomes for students whilst recognising reconciliation.
I've been trying, okay? My chosen artwork is the Undigenous rock art, which is associated with the northwest region of the Kimberley in Western Australia. Undigenous are sacred and are viewed as the supreme creator and is a symbol of fertility and rain. The Undigenous are scattered throughout the northwest Kimberley in sacred sites and is one of the oldest continued sacred paintings movements on the planet. According to creative spirits, the Undigenous have large eyes like the eye of a storm, but no mouth. It is said they have no mouth because that would make them too powerful. They are also depicted with different elaborate headdresses, which symbolize different types of storms. It was also found that the rock art had undergone regular ritual repainting to keep the artwork fresh and lively. According to creative spirits, in a lot of Western Australia languages, Jina means feet, and therefore some see a connection between Undigenous and the sacred act of walking on the land.
One model which emphasises the significance of the Undigenous is the Indigenous pedagogy involving personal and holistic, experiential, place-based learning, and intergenerational. The personal and holistic area can be seen in the ritualistic area in the Undigenous. The experiential area can be seen in the traditional repainting of the Undigenous every decade. The area of place-based learning is evident in the sacred places where the Undigenous are located. The intergenerational area can be seen when knowledge is passed down to the young individuals in the community from the elders. It is our responsibility to ensure that Aboriginal culture remains current and relevant into the future, as it is part of the fabric of the culture of Australia. For the culture to live on into the future and remain relevant, it must be handed down into the next generation, which is the youth, our future students. Let it be the challenge of pre-service teachers to ensure whenever possible that we do this. Enough damage and effort has been inflicted on Aboriginal people and their culture to try and extinguish their rights and sense of being in Australia since the arrival of Europeans. As Natalie Taylor says, don't be frustrated with the slow pace. Think of it how you're creating a positive change. Thank you for listening.